Expired. Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Subcommittee on Digital Commerce and Consumer Protection, Mr. Latta of Ohio, for 4 minutes.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman, and Mr. Zuckerberg, thanks very much for being with us today. First question I have is, can you tell the Facebook users that the Russians and the Chinese have not used the same methods as other third parties to scrape the entire social network for their gain?
Congressman, we have not seen that activity.
None at all?
Not that I am aware of.
Okay. Let me ask this question. You know, a little bit's been going on when you made your opening statement in regards to what you'd like to see done with the company and steps moving forward. There's been a couple of questions, you know, about you're going to be investigating the apps. How many apps are there out there that you'd have to investigate?
There are tens of thousands of apps that had access to a large amount of people's information before we locked down the platform in 2014. Okay. So we're going to do an investigation that first involves looking at their patterns of API access and what those companies were doing. And then if we find anything suspicious, then we're going to bring in third-party auditors to go through their technical and physical systems to understand what they did. And if we find that they misused any data, then we'll ban them from our platform, make sure that they delete the data, and tell everyone affected. Okay.
Just to follow up on that then, how long would it take to investigate each of those apps once you're doing that? Because again, when you're talking about tens of thousands and you're going through that entire process then, how long would it take to go through each one of those apps?
Yes, Congressman, it's going to take many months to do this full process.
Okay.
And it's going to be an expensive process with a lot of auditors, but we think that this is the right thing to do at this point.
All right.
You know, before we'd thought that when developers told us that they weren't going to sell data, that was a good representation. But one of the big lessons that we've learned here is that clearly we cannot just take developers' word for it. We need to go and enforce that.
Okay. When we're talking about audits, and there's been some questions about this, on the audits in 2011, Facebook did sign that consent order with the Federal Trade Commission for the privacy violations. Part of that consent order requires Facebook to submit third-party privacy audits to the FTC every 2 years. First, are you aware of the audits? And second, why didn't the audits disclose or find these issues with the developers' access to users' data?
Yes, Congressman, I'm aware of the audits that we do. We do audits every other year. They're ongoing. The audits have not found material issues with our privacy programs in place at the company. I think the broader question here is we've had this FTC consent decree, but we take a broader view of what our responsibility for people's privacy is. And our view is that what a developer did, they represented to us that they were going to use the data in a certain way, and then in their own systems went out and sold it. We do not believe is a violation of the consent decree, but it's clearly a breach of people's trust. And the standard that we hold ourselves to is not just following the laws that are in place, but we just want to take a broader view of this, of protecting people's information.
Just about out of time here. Are you aware that Facebook did provide the auditors with all the information they requested when doing the FTC audits?
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah. Did Facebook provide the auditors with all the information they requested when they were preparing the audit for the FTC?
Congressman, I believe we do provide the audits to the FTC.
Okay, but all the information was provided. And were you ever personally asked to provide information or feedback in these audits to the FTC?
Congressman, not personally, although I'm briefed on all of the audits by our team.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, my time's expired, and I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.